everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate, and on this channel I'm going to be talking about clean beauty, non-toxic beauty, and also clean, healthy lifestyle type things as well. Maybe a couple mommy favorites and kids reviews for stuff as well. So it's just going to be a big mishmash of all the things that I love. And yeah, if you are interested in that, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you are interested in seeing the look that I have right now, it's just my everyday clean beauty, easy makeup, then stick around and I'm going to show you how I got this look. All right guys, let's get into it. I am barefaced. I have just finished doing my skincare, which I will go to, I think, a little bit more in depth in another video. But yeah, we're gonna start with the makeup. I am talking a little quieter than what I would usually talk because both my kids are still sleeping and I would like them to stay asleep. But if they get up, I'll have to go down and get them some breakfast and stuff, and then I'll resume this after. So, all right, we're gonna jump in here. So the first thing that I do after I've done my skincare is I pop up on some of the RMS Uncover Up. It is just such a lightweight under eye concealer. I have actually really dark circles, but I find this looks natural on me because I have so much darkness under the eyes and I have a lot of like kind of crepiness and fine lines. I just feel like most concealers almost enhance that. So I'm gonna go in with this one. So I just take a little bit on my finger and I really like to just press this in. Willow, what are you doing? In the bed, go lie down. So what I'm doing here is really just my everyday get ready quickly. I know this probably wouldn't necessarily be quick to everybody, but this is my full face that I do quickly. I am going to work later, so I'm not gonna go like overboard. So for the last, well, my whole working career, I've worked in cosmetics, but for the last 8 years before I stopped working after my second kid. So I just work with my husband on Wednesday mornings now, but I worked at Sephora for the last 8 years. So I have a really good base knowledge of cosmetics and just like really good base knowledge of conventional products as well. So now that I'm into clean beauty, it's just kind of like a new journey I get to explore. And Sephora does have a lot more options now, like clean at Sephora options, which I'm really excited about. I know there's different levels of what everybody feels is clean, and that's okay. But I still always check ingredients. So guys, what I'm going in with now is the BeautyCounter Dew Skin. I'm in the shade number 2. I really like to use this product more like, well, in the summer, like I'll use it as a tinted moisturizer, what it is. But in the winter, I like to use it as my primer. It does have an SPF 25. Or is it 20? It's 20, sorry. SPF 20. That way I just have a little bit of protection on under my makeup because I don't use an actual sun protection when I do my skincare. But this just gives the skin the most dewy, fresh look before we even go in with makeup at all. I like to blend that in. This is the Sephora Pro slanted buffing brush, the number 88. I love this. It kind of gives the effect of a sponge, like a beauty sponge. I do kind of go in after just to really get that pressed in. Sorry guys, this is my dog Willow in the background. She's a Labradoodle, even though she's golden. She's not a golden doodle. And she is usually not this wild. Like, this is wild for her, so. She likes to hang out with me though. We're the only girls in the house. We like to stick together. And it's super early. Like I said, the kids are still sleeping. It's only, what time is it? 6:20. Just having my coffee at the same time. All right, so Dew Skin is all blended in. Now I go in with the BeautyCounter Tint Skin. So this is the foundation, and this is the shade Linen. I mean, Dew Skin's super light, so you can kind of go up and down in shades very easily, but I just find the Tint Skin is super forgiving too. Like, they don't have a ton of like a really huge shade range, but I feel like a lot of different skin tones and skin shades can use their shade range, which is really, really cool. It is more of like a lighter coverage foundation. I think they say it is like light to medium. I can definitely build up coverage with it, but I like to have like a really fresh, sort of no makeup look. So this is perfect for me. And I go in with concealer after anyways. After having kids, I have a little bit of rosacea just in this area. So I go in with concealer, and I have a little bit of redness here too. So I just touch that up. Any blemishes that I have. One up here right now, you can see it. And I have a little bit of a scar from one that's clearing up over here. So now I'm going to take the BeautyCounter Touch Up Concealer Pen in the shade number, or sorry, it's not a number, light, shade light. And it's the click style pen. So then what I do is I just go right in over here, over my rosacea, and onto the cheek a little bit. So that scar, a little up here. On the cheek. I have a lot of like older acne scarring just around my chin here. So I like to put a little bit there. Concealer gives a really nice, it's a medium coverage for sure. It's not full coverage, but I just find it evens things out nicely. I'm probably gonna go in with a little bit of my powder concealer after I set all of this for that blemish, because it's definitely still peeking through. Okay, so we're gonna set this. I'm using the RMS Unpowder in 0 to 1, so that's like the fair shade. And I'm just taking my little Sephora mini airbrush brush. I use all the Sephora Pro brushes. Like I said, I worked there for 8 years and I have the full collection, so I'm just gonna continue using them because there's no point in, I absolutely love them. I don't know if I don't think they're vegan though, but I'm not gonna get rid of them. I do absolutely love all of them. I do really want to try the Makeup of the Day MOTD brushes. Those look really nice and they're quite inexpensive, so I'm thinking about maybe getting a set of those ones to try out. Alright guys, so I'm just going to prep my eyelids quickly here because I want to set them with my RMS Unpowder. This is the Lily Lolo eyelid primer. It has 2 shades here. Honestly, they're kind of interchangeable for me. I just blend that all over the lid. If my lids are like especially red one day, I'll go in with the more yellow tone. Sorry, I'm like majorly blinding everybody with that mirror. I have very oily skin, so I have to put on an eyelid primer. My eyeshadow will crease no matter what I use. Now, if you guys have a recommendation for a clean beauty eyelid primer that's really amazing, I've heard good things about the Jane Iredale one. This is the best I've found so far. I've tried the Ilia brightening eye primer as well, and that one really didn't work well for me at all. So if you guys have any recommendations, I would gladly take you up on those. So now I'm just like, I know I'm taking this shine brush, but what I do, I just swirl it and then I just set that in place. And now I'm going to continue on with the rest of my face. All right. So now I'm going to go in with my BeautyCounter Dune bronzer. So it's this one here. What I love about BeautyCounter is all of their packaging is recyclable. So you can take out the little mirrors, keep those if you want, and then you can recycle the packaging after. And it says, no secrets added. It's so cute. So this is another one of the Sephora Pro brushes. It's the number, I don't know, because it's worn off. 59, I think. I think that's what it was. It's kind of like the tapered powder brush. I don't remember what it's called exactly, but I like to just buff on my bronzer with that. I don't do heavy contouring because I have a narrow face. So I just like to warm up my complexion. And I'm quite fair, so I don't put on a lot. I am going to quickly conceal that blemish though, because it's driving me crazy. So I have a little bit of the Bare Minerals Well Rested concealer still, so if I have a blemish that's not great or needs a little extra covering, I'm going to use the Sephora Pro concealer brush And I just swirl that. I just find powder concealers tend to stick or adhere to the skin a little bit better when you have a worse blemish. But this one's really just healing up. It's just, I need to, it's just still red, so. Okay. I do find though that powders can get a little bit cakey, so you want to make sure you really kind of buff them out around. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with my RMS Beauty The Sensual Skin Trio. This has a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush, and as you can see, it's like really messy around there. It's a really small little pan, but I love to add this bronzer. I think it's the Madeira bronzer, yeah, over top of Dune, because Dune is a little bit lighter, and this kind of just adds like another dimension of bronzing. And then what I do with this one as well is I contour my nose a little bit. That's the only area that I do contour. So I'm going to take the Pro Contour brush from Sephora, dip into that. We're just going to contour the nose a little bit. I don't go really heavy with this. I do like to just sort of slim it out a little bit. My nose is the one area that's a little more prominent, so tone that back. There we go. All right, so I'm not gonna use, actually I might use the highlighter in there. All right, so we're gonna do blush. I'm really loving the new trend for spring, the ombre blush. So I'm gonna use my Pacifica blush and one of my BeautyCounter blushes in Guava. This Pacifica one is in Camellia. And I'm going to use the angled Sephora Pro brush for blush. I'm just gonna pop this on. Sort of back here. And then I'm going to take Guava, which is the most pretty, cool toned pink shade. I'm going to pop that just on the apples and sweep it back slightly. And then I'm going to take my sponge and just sort of blend that in a little bit more. All right. And then, first coffee. I'm going to take the RMS Living Luminizer. I love this product so much. Because I have rosacea here, I have a lot of texture on my skin, so I try and avoid like too much highlighter, even though those are the areas where we typically apply it. So I'm just gonna use my finger, and I have a little patch here that's quite smooth, so that's usually where I tap my highlighter. Avoiding higher up, or more like onto the cheek here where I have texture. And then this side I don't have rosacea, so I have less texture, but I just balance what I did on the other side so that nice and even. And then I'm gonna take a little of this just on the Cupid's bow. And I do put a little bit on my nose, just a tiny bit on the bridge, just to catch the light there. All right. And I love the Cupid's bow highlight, so at this point I'm just gonna take a little bit of the Grand Dame bronze highlighter from this palette and just pop it there, because I do like a little bit more of a glow there, and I find that it sets down the living luminizer a little bit, so it lasts all day. Yeah. All right, we're gonna jump into brows. So I use the BeautyCounter Color Define Brow Gel in dark. I always start by, I'm just gonna flip my mirror here to the larger side. I always start by combing through the brow. And then I go underneath here. And then I draw a line up at the top as well, just to fill in that area. I pull it down through the brow this way, and then I comb it out just to see where we're at and where we need a little bit more filling in. Which for me is just usually a little bit in the front here, so I just like to pull the product up through the brow with the direction of the hair growth. So for my brows in front, they grow up. Same on this side. Draw a line underneath, fill in this top part here where I'm more sparse, pull down, and then I comb through. I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube do their brows off camera, and I know it's kind of like a little bit more of like a finicky task to do, but I thought I should show you guys what I do, because it's really not difficult, but it makes such a huge difference. So I'm just gonna comb through again. Yeah, like it really just frames the face and gives a nice definition. And then I'm just gonna set it with the BeautyCounter tinted brow gel. This is the brunette, or no, dark. Mine is nearing the end of its life, so I need to get another one, but I almost like once they're a little bit like more dried out so that they really hold everything in place. Like it's not too wet, it's not as messy working with it. Brows are on. Now I'm gonna go into my eyeshadow. I honestly didn't really decide what I'm gonna do today. I'll probably just grab my BeautyCounter Classic eyeshadow palette because it's super easy to work with. And I pull the mirror out, so it also has a mirror here just so I don't blind you guys. So this is the Classic palette here. I just love it. It's super neutral. It's very everyday. There's usually 2 or 3 shades that I use when I do my makeup. So like on a quick day. So I always go in with Suede. That's my transition shade. So I'm gonna use that on the Sephora Pro number 10, the crease brush. So I'm just sweeping that in to my crease as my transition shade. And I love the shade Copper, and I also love Sahara down here. I'm gonna go in with Sahara today. It's just a little bit more muted than Copper. Copper's a really fun color for or shimmer for going out. This one's like just slightly more toned down. I really like it as just an everyday lid color. See, it's still pretty shiny, but Copper is definitely way more shiny. I can actually swatch them. I'll swatch them for you guys. So this is Copper, and this is Sahara. So you can see it's just like a little bit lighter, slightly more toned down. Copper is very like bold, but it's beautiful if you're doing like more of an evening look, or if you just want a bolder, more shimmery lid shade. Sorry, and I was just applying that with the one of the, I think it's the number 27, the Pro Blending brush from Sephora. Then I'm gonna take this little brush. This is the number 15. It's just a smaller flat shadow brush. And I'm gonna dip into Sahara, and I'm just going to blend that under my lash line. Just to smoke it out a little bit there. What are you doing, Willow? You just sleeping? Yeah. Alright, so that's really my everyday like eyeshadow. I'm just gonna pop on some mascara. Now, these guys are not actually part of the Clean at Sephora. This is the Lights Camera Lashes mascara from Tarte. I used to love this mascara so much, and I still like it. It's just, it's not clean beauty. So I have a bunch of these minis that I'm just kind of trying to use up so that I'm not wasteful. And then I want to try the Lily Lolo mascara. I've heard really good things about it. So we're going to give that one a go more than likely. But until then, I am just going to, I think Holden's awake. He's my 3-year-old. I'm just gonna pause, and yeah, we'll come back and do mascara in a second. I'm gonna set him up downstairs, maybe put on some Paw Patrol. All right, I'll be right back. All right, we are back, and I'm gonna pop on some mascara. always been messy at applying mascara. It's that one thing doing my makeup that I don't enjoy. I think that's why I'm messy, because I usually like rush through it. Pop a little bit just on the lower lashes. Glow, glow. Eyebrow jiggle there. All right. So mascara is done. Last thing that I'm going to do is just pop on a little bit of lip liner. So this is the Mineral Fusion lip pencil in Elegant. Really like this. So I go pretty light-handed with the lip liner, and I don't overdraw my lips ever. My bottom lip is slightly like bigger than my top lip, so just learn to live with that. I do find as I'm getting older though that my lip line is not quite as defined, so that's why I've started using lip liner. Never used to. Alright, and then I'm gonna grab, this is actually a Sephora concealer brush, but I like to use it just to kind of soften out that line. Alright. And then I'm going to go in with the BeautyCounter. This is one of their intense lipsticks, and this shade is called Backstage. I really like it. It's a nice, where did I swatch? It's just a really nice nude shade. And they're intense. The color payoff is really good. So I actually don't go in like really heavy-handed with this either, because I do like a softer lip color. So I usually just put it on the bottom, and then I smudge it up onto the top. And these guys stay on really well. Like, they go on pretty creamy at first, but then as they sort of dry down, they mattify, and they just really stay put. So I'm just gonna grab a makeup wipe here to get those swatches off. Those are one of my favorite wipes, the Pacifica Purify facial cleansing wipes with coconut water, and they do smell like coconut water, which I absolutely love. All right, so yeah, that is it for this look. I'm gonna pop my hair down here. All right, I need to kind of blow dry it again and style it after it's been pulled back in a clip. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this look. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments for me, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!